Speaking of MJF, though, right before we went live, another story was put out about MJF. And this actually has to do with a fan that snuck backstage. I don't know if anybody else has seen the story. This was just posted by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, where he stated the quote, "A very unusual situation played out last week on Long Island at the AEW Dynamite show backstage. Fightful has learned that building security for the UBS arena, not the AEW security, allowed a fan backstage who was posing as an extra. Things quickly unraveled for him, though. The fan made his way into the locker room and sat in Dax Harwood's seat before being informed of such. He apologized, noting he was there as an extra, and then moved over to a seat that apparently belonged to the blade of the Hardy family office. It became evident to people in the locker room that something was off here, so they began questioning the person. The person was apparently wearing Jeff Hardy-style armbands, and when asked, "Who trained you?" he stated, "Jeff Hardy." Well, Jeff Hardy does not train wrestlers. Also, the person couldn't quickly or correctly identify who may have actually booked him for the show as an extra, citing a name in the company who does not do that job. They also go on to state that MJF and Dax Harwood quickly ejected the fan, from the locker room and took him to somebody who was able to identify and indicate that he was a fan. Here's the kicker. He was a fan that back in October was kicked out of an AEW Boston event. The man also kept on trying to state that he was friends with Taz, and yeah, that's not true. Crazy.
I just don't, honestly, I don't know what goes through some people's heads. I'm going to be honest. I just don't get it sometimes. Don't understand.
Now, this is something that is not on AEW as far as him getting in the building, because their security is not working the door. That is security for the building. And unless...
That's hired security.
And maybe they're going to have to do this going forward, unless they have like a roster that they give the security guy and say, if their name's not on this list and they try to say they're an extra or something, don't let them in. I mean, that's maybe the next step they have to take. You know, names, check IDs,
really
this and that.
They have to do that. It's really sad that they have to do that as well.
Yeah, and here's the thing. So they said that he was kicked out of the AEW Boston show back in October and then tried to sneak in here on Long Island. That's a 5-hour drive if he lives in Boston. If he's someone that lives in Boston and then traveled to Long Island, that's a 5-hour drive. So this guy may have traveled significantly just to try and do this.
No, I just don't get it.
I don't either.
This is a lot of work, isn't it? A lot of work, a lot of traveling around. It's just no point to go all the way there to then be kicked out. Like,
I mean,
no,
the report doesn't state anything or whatnot, and I don't think they would have, but could they may have pressed charges on him sneaking in? I don't know. Called the cops and said, hey, this man snuck into the building. This man didn't have a ticket. This man was not asked to be here by us. We didn't contact him. He's a fan that basically lied and snuck in. Could they have called police? I don't know. Because it's a different situation than the guy that jumped the rail and attacked Seth Rollins. From all we know, this guy didn't do anything to hurt or harm anybody.
But then we don't know what he could have done. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Who knows if they would have said, oh, you're an extra? Okay. And then him try to sneak out and get down to the ring or something. So, a possibly bad situation diverted early thanks to MJF and Dax Harwood.
Dax Harwood always seems to be the one sorting out these problems.
Right? Ain't he the one that punched the guy that attacks Bret Hart?
I'm pretty sure.
I knew it was one of them, Dax Harwood or Cash Wheeler. It may have been Cash that punched the guy.
Cash, actually.
I think Cash is the one that punched the guy.
It always seems to be one of them two involved.